Hi traders, Babel Trading here again. Just looking at a potential short entry. This would be our third trade today. As we can see the P&L from the first two trades. First trade was a loser, which we took in here, $200 or 20 ticks. Second trade we took in here, we actually exited at 95, which was down in here, and we've got another potential short trade coming up. So again, as before, watching the price, watching the movement on the dome. So this was, we got out down here at 95 on our short earlier. This was a sort of a classic sort of a springboard type move, where you imagine market had moved, hit the low, moved sideways, retested that low as if you're on the end of a springboard, and then just shot up, and that's that's where we got out here, 95. So now obviously we've had quite a decent move off that low, but we're coming back down again, and it's quite possible we could test and break that low. Now in terms of timing, I trade until, or I will enter a trade up until 2 p.m. New York time. If I enter a trade before 2 p.m. New York time, and the trade is still open and valid, then I don't close it out at 2 o'clock. I just stay with the trade, but I won't enter after 2 p.m. As I mentioned before, I don't stop at daily targets or things like that. Some traders might think, well, you're $200 down, you've got it back to $400 up, why not just stop for the day? But to me, I don't know whether this next trade is going to be a winner or a loser. I can't pick and choose, because that if you start picking and choosing, you'll avoid the winning trades, and you'll take the losing trades. The trades are going to come winner or losing, whatever order they come. It's like a casino wouldn't stop taking bets on roulette, just because it had 5 blacks in a row or 5 odd numbers in a row. Still, they need, their edge will come over over time. They want as many spins as they can. And so, although trading is not strictly the same as a casino, because a casino has a defined mathematical edge. In trading, yes, you have to have an edge to make money, but that edge isn't guaranteed. It isn't a concrete mathematical number on every trade. It can change over time. Okay, I'm getting ready. Now the market slowed down quite a bit here, so whereas the previous trade, I may well sell the market. But if if I'm watching this and I think I can maybe get an uptick, I might, I might let it uptick a little bit. Sell. Okay, I'm in at 09. There's a 26 stop. Again, I was trying to get 10, to be honest, but we'll see. I will move that just to give it that, as I said from the previous trade, I like 20 ticks from what I saw as my I'm trying to hit. And now again, just as before, it's a question of waiting. Certainly has, we're now 40 minutes before 2 o'clock. Things have slowed down, the volume has slowed down, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. It is what it is. Volume can come in at any time. You can only react on a tick by tick basis. Obviously what I'd like to see is this little sort of spike down below the figure. See that get tested. If we can get down to there and through there, then I think we'll actually make a new low for the day. One thing, as I've said on the previous trades, is I like momentum. I mean here, trade hasn't done anything. We haven't gone anywhere really. I mean that's not gonna I'm not gonna get out based on that at the moment. I'm going to be watching how how price starts to move up towards my stop. If it looks as if it's if it's moving quickly and a slow pullback and then another drive, that may well be a reason for me to initiate an exit. Back to the entry point, didn't really go below it as yet. There's one thing that when you're watching a price dome, price ladder, whatever you want to call it, in real time, that's when you get to see the speed of the velocity and the impulse of the price movement. If you look back at a chart, and whether it's a bar chart, candle chart, yes, you see the high and the low and the open and close of that particular bar, but it doesn't tell you how long. If let's say you have a 5-minute bar chart, a 5-minute chart up, it tells you the price range and the open and close of that 5-minute period, but that doesn't tell you price may have stayed off one tick of the high for 4.5 minutes of that 5 minutes. So I'm not. Don't get hung up on which charts you're using, what period. People get hung up on open and closes of bars and things. I mean, the price just rolls from one tick to the next. How you slice and dice the day up to how I do it can be completely different. The graph or the chart, that's just a visual representation of what's happening here. This is the important part, the price ladder, the dome. So the next, so on the downside, if we don't get stopped out, this 95 area is what I'm sort of going to be looking at. See how I react there. And obviously the lows was down at 62 or something like that, I think 67. If we get through that 95, I would expect and hope for a fairly quick move. If we don't, that would be a concern. And as it is, where we haven't gone anywhere, we took a bit of heat, had a tick to profit in it so far, and it's just a question of being patient. You can see, we're just in a little sideways range at the moment. Just in terms of time as we approach, it's approaching half one now, New York time. Half an hour until 2. In which case we could get some volatility in that half an hour. But this will likely, not necessarily, if likely be the last trade. If I get stopped out and then I see another reason to enter, I'll enter. But if this trade hasn't stopped me out and is still just working as it goes past 2 o'clock, then we stay with it. What would what's going to motivate me to exit? Well, of course, ideally 125 ticks, as I say, that's what I consider an extreme, and I will take that. It's probably unlikely from this sort of level, but you never know. What else is going to motivate me? Or if we see a rejection off a certain price level with momentum, with volume, it's not always easy to say in advance. It's almost a feel for the market that you get from screen time, from trading it, not just looking back at a chart and marking up with arrows and saying I would have sold here and I would have bought there. That's not that's not conducive to actually learning how to read the flow, how to read the speed, the reaction of the market. You actually need to be seeing it in real time. We really haven't moved anywhere from this in terms of our favour from our entry point. Every little tick or two below it, we're getting a sort of reaction of 5 or 6 ticks, 7 ticks, 8 ticks. That's not to say it won't come. Obviously, as a trader, we'd prefer everything to happen quicker. Okay, we're just coming down to going to test this little low around about 05. Sometimes you'll see, in the actual price action, which again you don't see on a chart, it's what I call the snatch and grab, where you'll suddenly see this go down, and shoot immediately straight back up, as if just people are taking some stops out. Now here we're not moving down, that quickly. We're coming down to that 95 area. This is a point of interest. I want to see us get below this figure, get below this 95, and hold there. If you look at the volume here between this 97 and 93, it's not much, but it's obviously, we can see on either side of it, this is not nearly as much. There's a bit of a vacuum, not as much of a vacuum as you may well see, but what that means is that could fill in quite quickly, which is what I'm hoping. And if it does, okay, there you see how we just sort of pretty much jumped from there, the top of this sort of low volume, down to this bottom part. Now I need to see it continue. So from this point, I don't really want to see it back above, sort of, I was going to say the 10 level, back to sort of my entry level from here. I'll stick with it. I won't do anything with it at that point, but if it gets back above there, having sort of got down to these 80s without testing this low again, then that we could be in trouble with the trade. So what's my next sort of point of interest? Well, from here it's pretty much, I need to see, if we come down and test these lows, I need to see what happens down here as to whether I hold on, or whether there's a reason to exit. If we don't come down here, and as I say, we go back above the figure from this point, then I think it's quite likely that the stop will get hit. We haven't actually seen huge amount of volume coming in on this sell down. And of course, price can move without a lot of volume, and that's, you don't need a lot of volume to move price on occasion. But I just prefer to, if I want to see new initiative sellers come in, then I'd like to see them come in with size, and I would see more volume coming into the market. So we're into the last half hour. Okay, again, bring up towards the figure. Now this is an important point here now. I'm looking to see how we sort of react from here. There's not huge volume here. As you can see now, the prices have pretty much been filled in terms of, it's fairly consistent volume on each price level now. Just these two where we currently are below 1,000. Looking further down, if we get below, obviously, the further extreme you get, the smaller the volume. But what we need to do now is continue that. We came back, we sort of hit that 46 level, come back down 5 or so ticks, back into this 95 area, which had interest to me earlier. So always be prepared. I'll be on the click if I think, if I'm seeing, just like we saw, back here, we saw the price of 95 we exited, which was actually in this bar, and then obviously, price moved another 60.55, 60 ticks, against us if we'd held on. You have to be decisive. You have to be ready to exit or enter a trade when you see the reason. Yes, you can think, oh well, I'll give it a bit more room, but a bit more room might cost you $200 or $300, per contract. Okay, hit the 46 again, the figure. above this 46 now, just trading, ticking above it, a couple of ticks below it, a couple of ticks above it, a couple of ticks below. We see why, people think day trading is, exciting and yours mining all over the place. And while it can be that, as I say, I was a spot FX trader, senior dealer for a bank in London before I became an independent trader. And in spot FX, there's, it's very fast paced. For me as trading, for myself, I'm not interested in and out for ticks here and there. I'm quite happy, to either take no trades in a day, or generally, 2 to, I would say 5 is probably the maximum I would ever take in a day. But that was 5 is the maximum opportunities I see to take in a day. But on average, I'm probably taking a couple of trades a day, and that's all you need to take. If your trade location and your trade management is good. And in terms of feeling good about a trade, comfortable about a trade, I'm sure a lot of trade generally it's the trades that you feel uncomfortable about taking that normally produce the best results. And they're the ones that a lot of traders, because they feel uncomfortable about taking it, they either don't take it or they take it and they can't handle that feeling of uncomfortableness, and therefore they exit it far too early. And as I say, they exit it just before the big move. We've all been there. I've made every trading mistake under the sun in my career. The important thing is you make mistakes, you learn from them, you accept them. You don't beat yourself up over it. You accept it, you learn from it, and you move on. It's not a question of 100% accuracy, proficiency. There's going to be times where you're slow in the click, or you're hesitant, and you miss a few ticks here or there. The idea is to minimize those. You can't eradicate them. We're humans. People say, "Oh, you can't have emotion." Well, we're humans. We have emotion. You can try and manage it and accept it and deal with it. Okay, this is an important point here. We say we've hovered around this, give or take, 3 or 4 ticks either side of 46 for a while, and if this price sort of goes up above 46.05, it's probably, I'm thinking it's probably going to go back up through my entry point, possibly the stop. If we get back through that 95 level, then again I'm expecting, I would anticipate a sort of a move down to test the low of the day so far. it's a bit, what do we, from that 46 level, what do we hit first? 05 or 95? Okay, we've hit 05. Let's see what happens. Yep. Okay. It's a little bit of a pop from there. Okay, and you saw how quick that was. We're done. Got taken out. I was just about to say I'm on the click, but we were taken out. Okay, and that's that trade. Cheers. Good luck. Trade well.